Welcome to Sleepy Story, where the whispers of history guide you into a world of calm and wonder. As the day fades and the night settles in, let our tales carry you to ancient times, where the lives of merchants, artisans, and dreamers unfold. Each story is a gentle journey, woven with the threads of culture, community, and resilience, designed to soothe your mind and spark a quiet curiosity about the past. Tonight, we invite you to rest, to listen, and to let the rhythm of history lull you into peace. At Sleepy Story, we see the past as a rich mix of lives and lessons that help you relax. Picture bustling markets in Rome or quiet villages from long ago. Our stories make history feel real and comforting. As you dive into this tale, imagine walking with those who shaped our world, hearing their voices echo through time. Get ready for a journey that connects you to the strength and wisdom of those before us. Let your worries fade as you dive into our story. Each word is here to help you relax, mixing learning with calm vibes. The lives we share, full of trade and tradition, remind us of our deep connections. As you listen, let the gentle flow of history carry you to a peaceful night. Thanks for joining us on Sleepy Story, where every tale invites you to dream and unwind. Now, let's kick off tonight's journey into the past. Imagine a land where the heart of Rome's countryside beats with the rhythm of the seasons. A place where fields stretch toward the horizon and families work together to feed the city. Claudia, a 32-year-old farmer, lives in a modest farmhouse near Ostia, a coastal town that supplies Rome in 150 BCE. The Romans are building a republic, their city thriving on the grain and olives grown by farmers like Claudia. Each morning, she rises to the sounds of birds and the rustle of wheat, her hands ready to tend the fields. Claudia manages her family's farm, dreaming of a bountiful harvest to honor her ancestors and sustain Rome. The Romans believe their countryside is the foundation of their republic, providing the food that fuels their city's growth. Claudia walks through her fields, checking the soil and guiding her workers as they sow barley. Her steps are steady, her heart tied to the land. Her husband, Titus, repairs tools in the shed, his hands crafting plows to till the earth. Her aunt, an elder named Flavia, shares tales of the farm's past, filling Claudia's heart with pride. The Romans' agriculture is a cycle, and Claudia feels its rhythm, knowing her work nourishes the city. Claudia's favorite moments are the mornings when she works alongside her workers, planting seeds and pruning olive trees. The Romans rely on their farms to feed the city, trading grain and oil at Ostia's port. Claudia checks the wheat, ensuring it grows strong, learning the signs of a healthy crop. Flavia explains that farming is more than labor. It is a way to serve Rome, to strengthen its people. Claudia feels a spark of purpose, knowing her fields contribute to the Republic's prosperity. She guides her workers, sharing knowledge passed down through generations. The farm is a place of learning, where Claudia discovers the stories behind the crops. A worker from the hills tells her of the rains that feed the fields, while another speaks of the soil's richness near the Tiber. Claudia learns that Rome's countryside is a tapestry of many hands, each farmer contributing to its growth. Flavia teaches her to read the seasons, to plant at the right time, and to respect the land's cycles. The Romans believe that every seed sown is a step toward abundance. Claudia takes these lessons to heart, understanding her role in sustaining Rome. Flavia speaks of a festival tomorrow, dedicated to Ceres, the goddess of agriculture. The Romans will gather to to give thanks for the harvest, offering grain and prayers for the fields. Claudia has joined such festivals before, but this one feels special, tied to her work. Flavia explains that the festival unites the community, ensuring the gods' blessings. Claudia imagines the songs she will hear, the offerings she will make, and the faces of her neighbors gathered together. She feels a sense of anticipation, knowing this moment will deepen her bond with the land. The Romans' connection to their countryside is profound, rooted in centuries of farming and reverence for the earth. They mark the seasons by the festivals they celebrate, sowing in spring and harvesting in autumn. They use every part of the land's bounty, honoring its gifts. Claudia helps Titus repair a plow, learning the tools that shape their work. She carries water from a nearby stream, feeling the weight of her contribution to her family's farm. The Romans teach their farmers to respect the land, to see it as a living partner in their labor. Claudia's dreams are filled with the fields, their golden wheat, their olive groves, their promise of abundance. She envisions a harvest that will feed Rome, honoring her ancestors' legacy. Tomorrow's festival feels like a step toward that dream, a chance to pray with her people. As she prepares, she helps Flavia gather grain for the festival, learning the importance of each offering. Titus checks their tools, ensuring they are ready for the season. The family works together, their actions a quiet prayer to the land and its gods. The Romans' traditions are a living thread, connecting the past to the present. Claudia learns the names of the crops. She grows wheat for bread, barley for porridge, olives for oil. She learns the prayers that accompany their work, each one an offering to Ceres. The Romans believe that every effort, from sowing a seed to harvesting a crop, honors the Republic. Claudia feels a deep connection to her people and their fields, knowing the festival will be a moment of renewal. As the night deepens, she rests, her dreams filled with the promise of tomorrow, ready to join her community in celebration. Inside their farmhouse, Claudia sits with Titus, sorting seeds for the next planting. Her fingers move carefully, separating wheat from barley, each seed a promise of the harvest. Titus sharpens a plow blade, his hands steady as he prepares for the fields. Flavia, Claudia's aunt, shares tales of past harvests, filling the room with the wisdom of their ancestors. Claudia dreams of mastering the art of farming, ensuring her family's land thrives and supports Rome's growing needs. Every morning, Claudia leads her workers in the fields, guiding them as they till the soil and plant seeds. She learns to judge the soil's moisture, to prune olive trees, and to protect crops from pests. The Romans' farms are the backbone of their republic, supplying grain to the city and oil to its markets. Flavia teaches her the value of each crop, explaining how wheat feeds the people and olives bring wealth. Claudia's role is vital, a thread in the fabric of Rome's agriculture. She feels proud, knowing her work sustains the city. The Romans live with purpose, their lives shaped by a deep respect for the land and its gods. Claudia learns this through her tasks sowing seeds, repairing fences, and helping Titus mend tools. Flavia shares stories of farmers who faced droughts, yet persevered through careful planning and prayers. These stories are lessons about resilience, stewardship, and devotion to Rome. Claudia feels a sense of responsibility, knowing her work supports not only her family, but the Republic's future. Tonight, Flavia speaks of the Festival of Ceres, a time to honor the goddess of agriculture and seek her blessing for the fields. The family will bring grain to offer at the temple, a gesture of gratitude for the land's bounty. Claudia imagines the festival, the songs, and the shared prayers that will unite the Romans. She has joined such rituals before, but each one strengthens her connection to her people. Flavia explains that the festival renews the Romans' bond with the land and each other, ensuring their prosperity. Claudia lies in bed, her mind filled with the fields and the festival's promise. She thinks of the crops she tends, each one a link to Rome's future. She thinks of the workers, the tools, and the prayers that bind her community together. The Romans' way of life is a cycle, like the seasons, and Claudia feels woven into it. She closes her eyes, ready for the festival where she will share in her people's traditions, her heart steady with purpose. The family prepares for the festival with care. Titus packs a basket with grain to offer at the temple, explaining the meaning of each offering. Claudia helps, learning the importance of gratitude in every task. Flavia teaches her to assess the soil's health, to smell its richness and feel its texture. The Romans' knowledge of farming is vast, built over centuries of working the land. Claudia feels a growing sense of duty, knowing she will carry this knowledge forward. She practices a prayer Flavia taught her, a request for the gods to bless their fields. The farmhouse is a place of learning, where every task carries meaning. Claudia watches Titus repair a sickle, learning the tools that shape their work. She learns that each crop tells a story, each effort a piece of Rome's history. Flavia shows her how to record harvests, using tallies to track their yield. Claudia feels a deep connection to her family, knowing their work is part of a larger whole, a way of life that honors the past and builds the future. As she rests, she dreams of the festival, ready to embrace the rituals and prayers that await her. At dawn, Claudia and her family set out for the Temple of Ceres near Ostia. Their footsteps light on the paths through the fields. The Romans hold this temple as a sacred place where they honor the goddess of agriculture and abundance. Today, they gather for the festival of Ceres, giving thanks for the harvest and praying for the field's prosperity. Claudia carries a basket of grain as an offering, feeling the significance of the moment. She walks beside Titus, who hums a quiet prayer, his voice blending with the sounds of the waking countryside. Claudia feels a spark of anticipation, knowing this festival will renew her bond with her people and their gods. As they reach the temple, Claudia sees other Roman families gathered, farmers, workers, and priests, their faces reflecting reverence and joy. Men and women stand together, their presence a testament to their shared purpose. A priest begins the festival, offering grain to Ceres and sprinkling water from a nearby stream as a gesture of gratitude. The Romans join in song, their voices rising in a melody that speaks of thanks for the fields, the harvests, and the republic's growth. Claudia listens, her heart swelling with pride and wonder. The songs tell of Ceres's gifts, of the cycles of planting and reaping, and of Rome's connection to the land. Titus explains that the festival is more than a ceremony. It is a way to strengthen the Romans' bond with the gods and each other. The priest leads the people in rituals, offering grain to the 4 directions: east for dawn, south for warmth, west for rest, and north for strength. The Romans sing prayers for abundance, health, and fertile fields, their voices weaving together like stalks of wheat. Claudia watches as the priests move with grace, their actions a reminder of Rome's devotion. She feels the power of the moment, as if the temple itself is listening, holding the Romans in its embrace. Claudia joins the circle, holding a handful of barley, and offers it to the altar as a gesture of gratitude. Titus guides her, teaching her the words of a prayer. May the fields yield plenty. May the republic prosper. May our hearts walk in harmony. Claudia repeats the words, feeling their meaning deep within her. The prayer is a promise to honor the gods and the land, to farm with care. The festival is a tapestry of rituals, each one a thread in Rome's story. The people share food, bread, olives, and wine, passing baskets from hand to hand, a symbol of their unity. Claudia tastes the bread, its flavor rich and comforting, a reminder of the goddess's gifts. The festival continues through the morning, with songs and prayers filling the air. Claudia learns the names of the gods invoked in the chant series: for agriculture, Liber; for wine, and Libera for fertility. The priests share tales of Rome's past, of how the Republic grew from small farms to a thriving city through the blessings of the gods. These stories connect Claudia to her ancestors, reminding her of their devotion. The Romans believe that these tales keep their culture alive, ensuring their lives remain in balance with the divine. Claudia feels a sense of belonging, knowing she is part of a community bound by shared beliefs. The priests speak of Rome's history, of times when harvests failed and the people faced hunger. They tell of how the Romans came together, sharing grain and offering prayers to Ceres to restore the land. Claudia listens, her heart filled with admiration for her people's resilience. She imagines standing with her ancestors, sharing their prayers and hope. The festival is a reminder that the Romans are never alone, that their community is a source of strength. Titus tells her that the prayers she offers today will guide her through life, teaching her to farm with gratitude and devotion. As the festival draws to a close, the Romans gather in a final prayer, their voices rising in a song of gratitude. Claudia joins in, her voice steady, feeling the strength of her people around her. The priest blesses the crowd, sprinkling water over them, a gesture of protection and renewal. Titus smiles, telling Claudia that the festival will stay with her, shaping her understanding of her role in Rome. Claudia feels a deep connection to her people, knowing this moment is a step toward honoring their traditions. The journey back to the farm is quiet, with the Romans walking together, their hearts full of the songs and prayers shared. After the festival, Claudia returns to her farm, but today, Flavia takes her to the banks of the Tiber River, where crops are irrigated and goods are shipped to Ostia's port. The Romans call the Tiber the lifeblood of their countryside, a river that nourishes fields and connects them to Rome. Claudia helps Titus load grain onto a cart for transport, her hands dusted with the earth's scent. The river is alive with activity, with boats carrying produce and farmers tending irrigation channels. Claudia feels a sense of purpose, knowing her work feeds the city. Flavia teaches her to manage the irrigation channels, ensuring water reaches the fields evenly. The Romans rely on the Tiber to sustain their crops, and every farmer plays a role in this cycle. Claudia learns that the river is more than a waterway. It is a partner in their labor, bringing life to the land. Flavia explains that farming along the Tiber is a sacred duty, honoring the gods who protect the Republic. Claudia listens, feeling a spark of wonder at the connection between her fields and the city. Claudia assists a boatman from Ostia, trading grain for tools to repair their plows. The boatman speaks of the port where Roman goods reach distant lands. Claudia feels a sense of pride, realizing her farm is part of a larger network that sustains the Republic. Flavia teaches her to respect the boatmen, valuing their work and the goods they bring. The Romans believed that every exchange strengthens their city, building bonds between countryside and capital. Claudia takes these lessons to heart, seeing her role as part of a larger cycle. The family returns to the farm, where Claudia helps Titus store the new tools. Flavia joins them, bringing wisdom about the season's rhythms. Claudia watches as Flavia negotiates with a trader, securing seeds for the next planting. The Tiber is a place of connection, where Romans share resources and stories. Flavia tells of a time when the river flooded, threatening the fields. The farmers worked together, rebuilding channels and sharing crops, showing their resilience. Claudia listens, her heart filled with admiration for her people's strength. Flavia teaches Claudia to offer grain at the Tiber's edge, a gesture of gratitude for its bounty. She learns that each offering is a connection to the past, a reminder of Rome's history. The Romans honor the Tiber with prayers, ensuring its flow remains strong. Claudia helps Flavia prepare an offering, learning a prayer for the river's gifts. The prayer is a promise to care for the land, ensuring its prosperity. Claudia feels proud to be part of this tradition, knowing her work sustains her family and Rome. The day ends with the family sharing a meal of bread and olives. Claudia thinks of the Tiber, its steady flow, and the crops that depend on it. She feels grateful for the fields, the river, and the knowledge passed down to her. The Romans' way of life is a cycle, like the river's current, and Claudia feels woven into it. She imagines the festival of Ceres, the songs, and the unity of her people, knowing her work continues those traditions. As she rests, her heart is full, ready to learn more about the farming that nourishes Rome. In the afternoon, Claudia sits by the Tiber, watching boats carry grain toward Ostia. She thinks about the stories and traditions of her people, who have built Rome's countryside into a source of abundance and community. The Romans' culture is rich with wisdom, from their fields to their festivals. Imagine standing with Claudia, feeling the rhythm of the river. You can explore this world, further visit a museum of Roman history, read a book about their agriculture, or study the farms that fed their republic. Each step you take to learn more brings you closer to their story, a story that continues to inspire. Claudia reflects on the festival of Ceres, the fields, and the teachings of Flavia and Titus. She knows that the Romans' traditions are a gift passed down through generations, keeping their culture alive. She thinks of the crops she tends, each one a connection to Rome's future. Claudia feels pride, knowing she will carry these traditions forward. She imagines teaching others one day, sharing the skills and stories that have shaped her life. The Romans' way of life is a cycle, like the seasons, and Claudia feels part of it. Claudia thinks of the songs she heard at the festival, the voices of her people rising together. She recalls the priests' prayers, the offerings to Ceres, and the stories of Rome's past. These moments are sacred, a reminder of the Romans' strength and resilience. Claudia knows her people have faced challenges, floods, poor harvests, but they have always thrived. She feels grateful for the knowledge passed down to her, the lessons that teach her to farm in harmony with the land. Claudia returns to the fields, ready to learn more, knowing her people's traditions will endure, carried by the songs and stories of her community. Claudia stands in her fields near Ostia, the morning sun casting light over rows of wheat swaying gently in the breeze. The Romans have toiled for generations to cultivate the land, but today brings a challenge. A sudden storm has damaged a section of the fields, flattening crops and flooding irrigation channels. Claudia walks the muddy paths with Titus, her husband, assessing the loss. The Romans believe every hardship is a test of their resilience, a chance to honor the land. Claudia feels a spark of determination, eager to restore her fields and ensure the harvest for Rome. Titus explains that the storm's damage requires careful work to save the remaining crops. They must clear the channels and replant where possible, using seeds saved from past harvests. Claudia helps, her hands steady as she removes debris and checks the soil's condition. The Romans' farming is a balance of effort and wisdom, and Claudia feels the weight of her role. Flavia, her aunt, joins them, teaching Claudia to assess which plants can recover. The lesson is one of patience, a skill that will sustain the farm through adversity. The workers share stories of past storms, of fields lost and restored through collective effort. A laborer named Decius tells Claudia of a time when a drought tested the countryside, but the farmers shared water and seeds to survive. The Roman strength lies in their unity, a lesson Claudia takes to heart. She helps Decius repair a channel, learning to trust her instincts and work as part of a team. The farm is more than a plot of land. It is a symbol of Rome's ability to endure hardship. Flavia speaks with a neighboring farmer, trading seeds to replace those lost in the storm. Claudia listens, realizing that every task, from clearing mud to sharing resources, is a thread in Rome's tapestry. The Romans believe their community thrives through mutual support. Flavia shares a prayer with the workers, a request for Ceres to bless their efforts. Claudia joins in, her voice blending with theirs, feeling the unity of their shared purpose. The prayer is a promise to care for the land, ensuring its bounty returns. Flavia tells Claudia of a time when pests destroyed a harvest, leaving the farmers hungry. The Romans came together, sharing stored grain and offering prayers to Ceres for relief. Their resilience saved the countryside, proving that challenges are met with collective strength. Claudia listens, her heart filled with admiration for her people's endurance. She imagines herself standing with her ancestors, facing their trials and rebuilding their fields. The Romans' way of life is a cycle of effort and renewal, and Claudia feels woven into it. The day ends with the workers clearing the last of the debris, their progress steady. Claudia helps replant a row of barley, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Titus shares a meal of bread and olives with the workers, their laughter a reminder of their bond. Claudia thinks of the storm-damaged fields, now on the path to recovery, and the lessons she has learned. The Romans' agriculture is a testament to their determination, a legacy that will endure. She rests, her heart steady, ready to continue her work, knowing each challenge strengthens Rome. Claudia stands in her fields near Ostia, the morning sun casting light over rows of wheat swaying gently in the breeze. The Romans have toiled for generations to cultivate the land, but today brings a challenge. A sudden storm has damaged a section of the fields, flattening crops and flooding irrigation channels. Claudia walks the muddy paths with Titus, her husband, assessing the loss. The Romans believe every hardship is a test of their resilience, a chance to honor the land. Claudia feels a spark of determination, eager to restore her fields and ensure the harvest for Rome. Titus explains that the storm's damage requires careful work to save the remaining crops. They must clear the channels and replant where possible, using seeds saved from past harvests. Claudia helps, her hands steady as she removes debris and checks the soil's condition. The Romans' farming is a balance of effort and wisdom, and Claudia feels the weight of her role. Flavia, her aunt, joins them, teaching Claudia to assess which plants can recover. The lesson is one of patience, a skill that will sustain the farm through adversity. The workers share stories of past storms, of fields lost and restored through collective effort. A laborer named Decius tells Claudia of a time when a drought tested the countryside, but the farmers shared water and seeds to survive. The Romans' strength lies in their unity, a lesson Claudia takes to heart. She helps Decius repair a channel, learning to trust her instincts and work as part of a team. The farm is more than a plot of land. It is a symbol of Rome's ability to endure hardship. Flavia speaks with a neighboring farmer, trading seeds to replace those lost in the storm. Claudia listens, realizing that every task, from clearing mud to sharing resources, is a thread in Rome's tapestry. The Romans believe their community thrives through mutual support. Flavia shares a prayer with the workers, a request for Ceres to bless their efforts. Claudia joins in, her voice blending with theirs, feeling the unity of their shared purpose. The prayer is a promise to care for the land, ensuring its bounty returns. Flavia tells Claudia of a time when pests destroyed a harvest, leaving the farmers hungry. The Romans came together, sharing stored grain and offering prayers to Ceres for relief. Their resilience saved the countryside, proving that challenges are met with collective strength. Claudia listens, her heart filled with admiration for her people's endurance. She imagines herself standing with her ancestors, facing their trials and rebuilding their fields. The Romans' way of life is a cycle of effort and renewal, and Claudia feels woven into it. The day ends with the workers clearing the last of the debris, their progress steady. Claudia helps replant a row of barley, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Titus shares a meal of bread and olives with the workers, their laughter a reminder of their bond. Claudia thinks of the storm-damaged fields, now on the path to recovery, and the lessons she has learned. The Romans' agriculture is a testament to their determination, a legacy that will endure. She rests, her heart steady, ready to continue her work, knowing each challenge strengthens Rome. The fields are recovering, and Claudia prepares for the harvest, a time when the Romans gather the fruits of their labor. The air is warm, the wheat golden and ready for reaping. Claudia stands with her workers, guiding them as they cut stalks with sickles. The Romans believe the harvest is a sacred moment, a gift from Ceres to their republic. Claudia feels a spark of anticipation, knowing this yield will feed Rome and honor her family's legacy. Titus directs the workers, his voice calm but firm, ensuring the grain is gathered carefully. Claudia helps bundle the wheat, learning to tie stalks tightly to preserve them. The Romans' farming is a marvel, turning seeds into sustenance through skill and care. Flavia explains that this harvest is more than food. It is a celebration of Rome's bond with the land. Claudia feels proud, knowing her work brings nourishment to the city. She watches as the workers fill baskets, their faces reflecting hope and gratitude. The harvest continues, and the workers sing songs of thanks to Ceres, their voices rising over the fields. Claudia joins in, her heart lifted by the melody. The Romans believe that music binds their community, strengthening their connection to the gods. She helps load grain onto carts, ensuring it reaches Ostia's port. The workers share stories of past harvests, of years when the fields yielded plenty and times when they struggled. Claudia listens, feeling a connection to her people's history. Flavia arrives, bringing herbs to offer at a small altar in the fields. She joins the workers in a prayer, thanking Ceres for the harvest's bounty. Claudia repeats the words, feeling their meaning deep within her. The prayer is a promise to honor the land and its gifts, to farm with care. The Romans' traditions are a living thread, connecting their work to their gods. Claudia feels a sense of unity, knowing this moment binds the farmers, their families, and their republic. The harvest is a symbol of their shared purpose. Titus tells Claudia of a time when Rome's early farmers faced a poor yield, yet shared their grain to feed the city. Their success came through persistence and faith, lessons that guide the harvest today. Claudia listens, her heart filled with admiration for her ancestors' resilience. She imagines the grain reaching Rome, filling its markets and homes, sustaining its people. The Romans' way of life is a cycle of planting and reaping, and Claudia feels part of it, her work a continuation of their legacy. The day ends with the workers gathered in the fields, sharing a meal of bread and wine. Claudia thinks of the harvest, its golden stalks, and the fields that sustain Rome. She feels grateful for the lessons of Flavia and Titus, the support of her workers, and the unity of her people. The Romans' agriculture is a gift, one that will endure through time. Claudia rests, her heart full, ready to continue her work, knowing the harvest's promise is a testament to Rome's strength. One evening, Claudia visits a gathering place near Ostia, where farmers and villagers share news and stories. The Romans see these gatherings as the heart of their countryside, a place where the past and present meet. Claudia sits with Flavia, who shares tales of Rome's early farmers. Flavia's voice is warm and steady, filling Claudia's heart with pride. She feels a spark of curiosity, eager to learn more about the land that shapes her life as a farmer. Flavia tells the story of Numa, a legendary king who taught the Romans to honor the land. She speaks of early farmers who tamed the countryside, their efforts laying the foundation for the Republic. The Romans believe their history is a guide, teaching them to farm with wisdom and care. Flavia explains that these gatherings have been a tradition for centuries, where farmers plan, pray, and honor their gods. Claudia listens, feeling a connection to her ancestors, whose work made her fields possible. Claudia asks Flavia about the farmers of the past, and the elder tells of a time when a flood destroyed crops, yet the Romans replanted and thrived. The story is a lesson in resilience, showing that challenges are met with ingenuity. Flavia shares tales of farmers who faced pests and poor soil, but their unity ensured the countryside's growth. The Romans' strength lies in their community, a truth Claudia feels in her work on the farm. She imagines standing with those early farmers, sharing their dreams. Titus joins Claudia, listening to Flavia's tales. He shares a story of his own, of how his father taught him to repair plows, honoring Rome's traditions. The Romans believe that every story is a thread, connecting the past to the present. Flavia teaches Claudia a prayer for the fields, a request for the gods to bless their harvest. Claudia repeats the words, feeling their meaning deep within her. The prayer is a gesture of gratitude, a way to honor the ancestors who farmed the land. Flavia speaks of a time when the Romans faced a famine, their fields barren under a harsh sun. The farmers worked together, sharing seeds and praying to Ceres for relief. Their unity saved the countryside, proving their strength lies in their people. Claudia listens, her heart filled with admiration for her ancestors' resilience. She imagines her grain reaching Rome, sustaining its people as their ancestors did. The Romans' way of life is a cycle, like the seasons, and Claudia feels part of it. Claudia and Titus return home, their minds filled with Flavia's stories. They share a meal, talking of the gathering and the history it holds. Claudia thinks of Numa, the farmers, and the prayers that guide Rome. The countryside is a place of connection, where Romans come together to build their future. Claudia feels grateful for the knowledge she has gained, the lessons that teach her to farm with pride and purpose. She rests, her heart steady, ready to return to the fields, knowing her work carries forward the stories of her people. Years later, Claudia is a seasoned farmer, her fields near Ostia a source of pride. She now guides younger farmers, teaching them the skills she learned from Flavia and Titus. The Romans continue to thrive, their countryside feeding the growing republic. Claudia walks her fields, checking the wheat's growth, her hands steady from years of practice. She shows a young farmer, Lucia, how to sow seeds, passing down the traditions that have shaped her life. Claudia teaches Lucia the story of Ceres, the goddess who blesses the fields, explaining how her festival unites the Romans. She shares the importance of offering grain at the temple, a gesture of gratitude for the land's bounty. Lucia listens, her eyes bright with curiosity, and Claudia feels a sense of pride in passing on these lessons. She teaches a prayer for farming, a request for the gods to guide their work. The Romans' traditions are a living thing, carried forward by each generation, and Claudia feels honored to be part of this cycle. Claudia visits the gathering place near Ostia, where she once listened to Flavia's stories. The Romans still gather there, their voices rising in prayers and plans. Claudia shares tales of her farm, of storms overcome and harvests gathered. The younger farmers listen, learning the history that guides their work. Claudia sees the strength of her community in these gatherings, where decisions are made with wisdom, ensuring the countryside's prosperity. The Romans adapt to new challenges, planting new crops while holding fast to their traditions. Claudia teaches Lucia to manage irrigation along the Tiber, showing her how to guide water to the fields. She explains that the river is Rome's lifeblood, sustaining its farmers. Lucia helps clear a channel, learning the value of care. Claudia feels a deep connection to her ancestors, knowing their wisdom lives on in her work. The Romans' legacy is not just in their stories, but in their daily actions, in the way they farm and care for each other. Claudia knows her mentoring ensures the field's traditions endure. Claudia thinks of the festival of Ceres, the workers, and the stories of the countryside. She remembers the prayers she offered, the crops she tended, and the unity of her people. The Romans' culture lives on in their fields, their festivals, and the voices of their farmers. Claudia knows that Lucia will carry these traditions forward, just as she has done. She visits the Tiber, where she once sat with Titus, and thinks of the stories that have shaped her life. The Romans' resilience is a source of pride, a reminder that their republic is strong enough to face any challenge. Claudia sings a prayer for the fields, her voice soft in the quiet evening, knowing that Rome's legacy will endure, carried by the farmers who follow her. She feels grateful for Flavia's teachings, the lessons of farming and community, and the songs that guide her people. The Romans' fields are a testament to their strength, a gift that grows through time. Claudia rests, her heart full, knowing her work has helped preserve Rome's legacy. Claudia, now older, stands in her fields near Ostia, watching the wheat sway under the starlit sky. The night is quiet, the rustle of crops, a gentle reminder of her life's work. Claudia holds a handful of grain, its weight a symbol of the labor and dreams that have fed Rome. The Romans have built a republic that thrives on agriculture, community, and the traditions that bind them. And Claudia feels the depth of this legacy, a thread woven through her years as a farmer. Claudia reflects on the journey that shaped Hera from the mornings spent sowing seeds with Titus to the festival of Ceres, where she offered grain to honor the goddess. She recalls the storm-damaged fields, restored through resilience, and the stories of Numa shared by Flavia. Each moment is a piece of Rome, a republic sustained by the hands of its farmers, workers, and families. The Romans' way of life is a cycle, like the seasons, and Claudia knows she has played her part, tending fields and mentoring farmers like Lucia to carry the traditions forward. The fields, with their golden harvests, are a symbol of Rome's strength. Claudia remembers the challenges her people faced: storms, droughts, and pests, but they always persevered, united by their shared purpose. She thinks of the prayers she offered to Ceres, the songs she sang with her neighbors, and the bonds she forged with workers across the countryside. These moments are the heart of Rome, a republic built not just on grain, but on the spirit of its people. Claudia feels a deep gratitude for the lessons of Flavia, Titus, and her workers, whose wisdom guided her to farm with care and devotion. The Romans' legacy is a river flowing through time, carrying their agriculture to future generations. Claudia imagines Lucia standing in these same fields one day, teaching others to sow with precision and pride. She sees Rome growing, its markets filled with the bounty of her crops, its people sustained by the land she helped nurture. The Romans' culture is a gift, enduring in their fields, their festivals, and the stories of their farmers. Claudia knows her work has helped preserve this legacy, ensuring Rome's heart continues to thrive. As you rest tonight, let the harvest of Rome linger in your mind. The story of Claudia and her fields is a window into a world of resilience and abundance. You can honor this legacy by exploring Roman history, visit a museum to learn about their agriculture, read about their rural life, or share their stories with others. Each step brings you closer to the Romans' world, a world that inspires through its enduring strength. Claudia thinks of the crops she has tended, the prayers she has offered, and the republic that binds her people. Let this story carry you to a peaceful sleep, a gentle reminder of the connections that grow through time. As the story fades into the quiet of the night, we hope its echoes linger, carrying you toward rest and reflection. At Sleepy Story, we weave tales of ancient worlds to soothe your mind and honor the past. From the fields of Rome to the traditions of distant lands, each narrative is a thread in the tapestry of history, a reminder of the resilience and wisdom that shape our shared human story. We invite you to carry this piece with you, letting it guide you into a gentle sleep. The lives you've heard tonight, whether of farmers tending fields or artisans crafting beauty, are a window into the strength of those who came before us. Their stories live on, not just in these tales, but in the history that surrounds us. We encourage you to explore this world, further visit a museum, read a book about ancient cultures, or share these stories with others. By subscribing to Sleepy Story, you can join us for more journeys through time, each one crafted to educate and calm, a gift for your evenings and dreams. Thank you for listening to Sleepy Story, for letting us guide you through the past with tales that comfort and inspire. Our channel is here to be your companion, offering new stories to lull you into rest night after night. Subscribe to stay with us to discover more about the people and places that shaped history, and to find tranquility in their legacy. As you close your eyes, let the rhythm of these stories, like a gentle river, carry you forward. The past is always with us, its lessons a quiet light in the darkness. Good night from Sleepy Story, and may your dreams be filled with the echoes of history, guiding you to a peaceful rest.